Welcome back to our Business Partner tutorial series. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at setting up and managing cabinets. So from the dashboard, you would click on Cabinet Setup, and as you can see here, most anything that would make up a database is listed. So your cabinets, your doors and drawers, your drawer profiles, accessories, hardware, trim, molding, materials, finishes, and labor rates. In this tutorial, we're going to concentrate on cabinets, and in almost every database, the first thing you'll see will be a list view, and all that means is the items are listed in an order that is sorted by one of these columns, either in this case the base cabinets themselves, and that is sorting by base cabinets because the last time I was here that is what I chose to sort by. So if I click on this red X, now it's just sorted by all of the cabinet types, name and type. But it could be sorted by the horizontal parts, or it could be sorted by the quantities. Obviously the panel itself, the appliance panel, base cabinet, wall cabinet, is the most logical. And then your search options are pretty cool now comparatively to the older version of the Business Partner. So if we just want to see base cabinets or upper cabinets or tall cabinets or vanity cabinets, we can click here and it basically wipes everything out of the list except for what we're trying to focus in on. If we want to see everything and you only have one item here chosen, you can click this X, or you can click on this all option here. Right now we're looking at 40 of 326 items. So we could just as easily click on this all, puts us right back as well. So that's more helpful if you happen to have, in some of these searches, there's a lot of fields, and if you had 5 or 6 fields, instead of having going to hit 4 or 5 or 6 X's, red X's, you could just hit the all and see everything again. So let's sort this down to base cabinets, and probably the most common cabinet in kitchen and bath cabinetry is a drawer of repair doors. So we'll use that as our sample cabinet. Once we get here, the navigation for this page is right here in these icons, and they do require a little explanation since they don't have any sort of help that pops up. So this hamburger looking icon here basically just takes you back to that list view. You also see the list view hamburger here, but all that does is, as you see right now, we are not seeing all, we're seeing 70 of 326. This also will take you to the all view. Now we're seeing 326 of 326. If we wanted to add a new cabinet, this probably wouldn't be the ideal place to do it from, but we could do that from here. The plus sign is the add option, but I would rather be in the cabinet database when I do that. And it'll take you there if you were to hit it now. And then we could print this list if for some reason we needed to see that. So I'm going to go back to sort by base cabinet, choose the cabinet that I would like to illustrate how this portion of the program works, and that being a base. In this case, FA stands for full access, and FF would stand for face frame. Because just alphabetically, the FA and the FF require the FA to be first, we have given face frame users, and I'll show you right now that this is a new field altogether, this full access versus face frame. So this allows you to sort through and not have to look at full access if you're a face frame manufacturer, or to just show full access if you're a face frame or a full access manufacturer. There's also a field here that does require a little explanation, and that is the active versus inactive. There are some items in the database that we created that we don't allow you to delete, but you can make those items inactive. In this case, this is a very popular cabinet, so I certainly wouldn't want to make that inactive. The next icon, the plus icon again, adds a cabinet. All of these fields you see would be empty. Every one of them would be empty, and it'd be up to you to fill them in. A more appropriate way to add new cabinets is to find one that's close. So if I wanted to add a new cabinet that was 2 drawers over a pair of doors, it would make more sense to come to this cabinet and use this duplicate icon, and then just change the things that are specific to a cabinet that had 2 drawers over a pair as opposed to a 1 drawer over a pair, and rename it obviously. Then your search items, the search field allows you to search for, but again in that list view, the search fields are really powerful. So, but you could at this point also search for a particular cabinet type. You could say, hey, I only want to look at, find a vanity cabinet, and it's going to be a full access cabinet, and the interior is going to be unfinished, and the status of that cabinet is going to be active, and the name of that cabinet is going to be, let's just say 2, to see what it brings up. And you see here that all of these somewhere in this has like the number 2, 2 trays, 2 trays, 2 drawer, 2 tray. So, you know, you can be very specific on this list. So I'm going to go back again to my base cabinet, find the cabinet I want to illustrate, and then the next item is the X, which would delete this cabinet. The cabinet we're on right now is a base full access 1 drawer repair, and if we were to hit the red X, of course it would give us a warning. Do you really want to do that? And that's exactly what that would do. And again, this hamburger icon would take you back to the list view. Now this page actually consists of a number of pages. These are the cabinet specifications we're looking at right now. We also have door specifications here, metal drawer system, 5-part drawer system, metal tray system, 5-part tray system, and face frame system specifications. So we're going to pop through these really quickly. There's not a lot of explanation needed here, but I do want to make sure that if you're using this, you understand how it works. So all of these fields throughout this entire section are certainly populated when you get the business partner, but you can change anything you want about them. And again, if we come back to this list view, looking only at based cabinets, and you wanted to change the toe kick height of cabinets, it would make more sense to do it here. These fields are editable. Some fields aren't. If it's a calculation, you see when I'm clicking in some of these fields, nothing happens because they're calculated from something else, some other answer you gave. But this toe kick height would make more sense to edit here in this list view than it would to come over here and enter it into this area, which for that particular item, toe kick, it's right here. But if I did that, then I would have to utilize this navigation down here. And again, I'm starting at cabinet number 4, so I'd need to back up to get 1, 2, and 3. And I could navigate and answer this question, but that's a lot more clicking than doing it in the list view. So I wanted to show you how that worked so you'd see that. But all of these fields just require an answer. This top little section here is all about the top. In this case, this is a base cabinet that has stretchers, so the answer to include top is not checked. If you did want a top to calculate, you would check that, and then it would calculate a top, and it would then ask you the question. And this little section here, when I explain it, basically explains all of the others for the most part. It's going to ask you how many finished sides of this particular part, or how many sides of this part you would finish if this was something you were going to send to your finish room. So the top of a base cabinet probably would only get one side finished. The side that would be against the bottom of the countertop typically would not get finished. Obviously that's up to you. That portion of this allows you to control the finishing to a level no other software does. You're literally telling us every single part how many sides of that particular part are going to get finished. Then we are basing the depth of the cabinet on these really quick short answers here. You're telling us my cabinets typically are 34.5 inches tall and they're 24 inches deep. You can make any cabinet that you add to a job any height or depth you want, but we need a starting point so that when we add it, it's most likely right. And so in this case, we've chosen 34.5 and 24. Then how many upper doors are on this cabinet? Well, this is a base cabinet, so there's 0. How many base doors are on this cabinet? This particular cabinet has 2 because it's a drawer repair. Then the number of drawers, we're going to have 1 drawer box. How many drawer fronts? We're going to have 1. Number of rollout trays, and these are calculated numbers here that are in the blue. You can't adjust those. And then the additional material cost, additional installation labor, and additional shop labor are all fields to be used independently of labor rates database that we'll look at later. But these are specific to this cabinet. So your labor rate would be applied to this cabinet, and then you could apply an additional material cost or installation and shop labor. So I think that's enough about the cabinets in this one video. I'm going to stop here and create a second video to go over these sections here, and then I'm going to come back and create videos for doors and drawer fronts and drawer boxes.